But yeah, moving on to One Piece. Um, it's actually good, and
That's what I said when I started watching
I
it.
can't believe it. After all these years, we have a good live action adaptation of an anime, and it's One Piece, the anime with the goofiest character designs and abilities. And tons of people have been saying that. How did Cowboy Bebop and Death Note, two anime that should have very easily been slam dunks because of how grounded they are, fail? Even though I like Cowboy Bebop, but I like it as its own thing, but it's not a it's an okay adaptation of Cowboy Bebop, but as its own thing, I think it's good. Um,
Mm,
but overall, it's just not a great adaptation. Um,
right.
Whereas the Death Note, I haven't seen it, but I just hear it's not good.
It's so bad. I've watched it. It's terrible. Also, the Mob Psycho live action was also
Yeah,
terrible.
there's a lot of
And it's
live
like,
actions that just haven't done good. And I think this
yeah,
leads again credence, a word I wasn't sure if I was using right before, to me saying
Credence
that
episode.
if One Piece works, JoJo works 100%.
Oh, yeah.
They just need to do better. But yeah, it was good. What really makes this show work, and of course, what makes the original show work really is the characters. The Straw Hat crew are perfectly casted, and they feel
Mm,
like a real group of friends who you just want to see achieve their dreams. But I was not sold on them at first. In the first two episodes, I was still getting used to Inaki Godoy as Luffy and Makinyu as Sora. And I
right.
didn't know how to feel about their performances, especially Makinyu as Zoro. He felt way too stoic for me, and Zoro is my favorite character. So I was really paying attention to the way he was playing the character. But by
Right.
episode three, I got used to it and begun to enjoy their portrayals. And I was pretty much sold on Emily Rudd as Nami from the very beginning. And as soon as Usopp showed up, he was perfect. And you haven't gotten there yet, but when Sanji shows up, he's also perfect. Um,
Mm.
but yeah, what did you think?
As a person who has never consumed a One Piece anything in my life, I just know what the characters look like. I loved it. And as much as I hate to say it, I had like this I have or had this thing, this promise that I had made to myself when I was a young anime fan at the tender age of 14. One Piece was the one thing that I would never ever watch because it's long
No,
and it would take me a lifetime to get through it.
that's
And now
stupid.
I'm about to go start One Piece,
I know
like
you.
the actual.
I knew you were gonna say that because I was like,
I'm like,
this is gonna convince, this is gonna get so many people who said that they aren't gonna, or not that they aren't going to, but just haven't gotten around to it because it's so long to finally sit down and watch One Piece. I said a while back I had watched the first four episodes, and this makes me want to go back and finish watching the first four episodes. But the reason I don't, or watching the rest of the series, the reason I don't is because it's like I'm already behind on I'm on the last arc. I think is still ongoing. Well, not the last arc. The arc before the arc that's happening right now in the comic is still ongoing in the anime, and
right,
I still need to finish that arc. So I'm like, I should just watch from where I left off instead of trying to watch it all over again because it's already a lot. So
right.
I, so it's definitely making me want to, but I still haven't been completely convinced. But I think sometime soon I might actually sit down and try to actually catch back up with One Piece
Right.
because I'm easily like 800 episodes in.
And it's like a part of like my hesitance and like vow against One Piece was that again, it was so long
It's so
and
good
like
though. It's so good.
I don't have the time to sit down and watch 1,000 episodes of an anime.
You
But
gotta
the
pace
live
yourself.
action is right, the live action is so good
And let me
that
tell
I'm
you
like,
something.
okay, maybe it'll be worth it.
And the thing about it is, yeah, the live action's so good. The anime's better, and it always will be. So that's even more reason to watch it because the anime and manga are
It's
better,
better.
and the live
Yeah.
action is already really good. So if it's better, it's damn good.
Yeah, worth the 1,000 episodes.
But
And it's like again, it's I don't know. Ever since I watched Trigun, like I've been in my meathead shonen arc. So like now I'm like maybe I should watch Bleach. Maybe I should watch Dragon Ball.
oh, you
And I'm
should
like,
always watch
who
Bleach.
am I? Well, of course you would say that. You're biased. You love Bleach.
Look,
But
I am the most unbiased person on the planet right now.
uh,
Forget
and
One
I'm like
Piece.
maybe.
Watch Bleach.
I'm like, all these animes that like I had always said I was never gonna watch because I didn't think I would like them. I'm starting to like them, and it's like I've I've never been like a slice of life shoujo enjoyer, despite being the target audience, lol. Uh, I've I've always like enjoyed shonen more, but it's like there's when I was younger, there was a certain tolerance I had for like shoujo or shonen shenanigans. But now that I'm like older, it's like it's just fun. It's
Yeah,
fun to
it
watch.
is fun.
I used to
It's why I
I
think.
used to mm,
No, go ahead and finish.
I was gonna say I used to really enjoy like really high stakes animes. I'm getting too old for that.
Yeah,
I don't have the time to be stressed out.
yeah. Like I said before, it's why like a lot of people have really weird arguments about it. And I think they're stupid. The people's defense of it is stupid. Where it's like, I want adult shonen, and people go, well, just go watch seinen, and like seinen isn't the same. Because when you go from
Right.
shonen to seinen, everything immediately gets dark and depressing and sad. Because I guess just what being an adult is. But it's like, bro,
Yeah.
I want
That's not fun.
I want the happy light comedy action and slight drama of a shonen, but
But when like
all the characters are adults and going through adult things and has adult themes, and there are some adult jokes like stuff like that. I want
yeah.
I want that, but for shonen. I
Yeah,
don't
it's like
just
they're
want
adult jokes, but they're not weird because they're about teenagers, you
exactly. It's
know?
like my whole problem with over sexualization, even though it would still be over sexualizing women, even if they were adults. It wouldn't be as weird.
Because they're
And the
adults.
reality is, we all would be pretty much, despite how still kind of messed up as it is, we would all pretty much be okay with it if they were just adults.
Yeah.
Everybody would just accept it. But yeah, it's a grown woman. Just do whatever you want, as long as,
Yep.
except for the weird creepy, the character trope of like Mineta and My Hero, the and like Master Roshi, the perv, need to go away.
Yeah.
They need to be deleted from existence. That character trope
It's
needs to go. It is just glorifying sexual harassment. On the other hand, I've said this before. The easiest way to have a sexy character is,
mm,
especially if we're talking something live action, a beautiful woman is going to be beautiful no matter what.
right.
If you draw a beautiful woman, she's going to be beautiful no matter what. You don't have to try and emphasize anything. You could draw them with big breasts, but you don't have to zoom in on them, because if they're big, they're just going to be noticeable no matter what. Like, you don't have to go the extra mile to over sexualize them when just their mere existence of being an attractive person is enough. I think
Right.
oftentimes they feel the need to go overboard and like zoom in and have these weird shots that show off the character, when the reality is, if they're well endowed and they're jumping around, you're naturally just going to see that stuff even if you're not doing it on
Right.
purpose. So there's no reason to go overboard when it's just naturally going to happen. Like, you're going to find yourself drawing some really cool action scene and then realize, oh, this is a really cool action scene, but because she's well endowed, it looks a little suggestive. And that's just going to
Right.
happen sometimes. And you have to let it happen naturally instead of forcing it. That makes it way less weird.
Yeah.
But that we got a little, well, that's pretty par for the course with One Piece, because One Piece, low key, the
Yeah.
sexualization of the characters get worse after the time skip that happens eventually.
That's all I've heard, which is that scares me. But
And what
like,
is it? Sanji is, he, like, there is a perverted character in One Piece, but he's not gonna show up for a very long time. Sanji is like, he was always meant to be the antithesis of that, especially when he first shows up, where he loves women, he's aggressively heterosexual, but
mhm,
he's respectful about it. Um,
right.
but as the series goes on, he gets disrespectful about it.
Oh
But
boy.
he goes back and forth between completely disrespectful about it and then extremely respectful about it, and it just gives you whiplash, because at first he's like the perfect antithesis to those pervy characters, especially when they do introduce an actual pervy character to the cast. But then eventually he kind of just starts going along with the shenanigans of that pervy character, and I'm like, dude, you kind of just ruined part of
It's like,
what
what
made
happened?
him so interesting.
What happened to your respect women juice?
Yeah, but going back to live action, we also get way more Kobe and Helmeppo in this version of the story than we did in the original, because
Mm,
they show up again later, and like you learn and like you find out that they've gone through a lot of stuff. But in this one, they're actually giving focus to Kobe as kind of like a secondary main character alongside Luffy, um, where essentially we're seeing the pirate side from Luffy and the marine side from Kobe, which I think is very interesting take on how to do this and to constantly
right.
have a perspective on both sides. And I hope this is something that they continue to do throughout the entirety series, have us seeing both sides the entire time, which I think would be really cool and different for people who have seen the original. Um,
Right.
the music for me, you haven't seen the original, but I'm sure you've heard some of the music. The music for me is easily the weakest part. It's very generic kind of
Ah.
pirate music, and not even just pirate music, just generic kind of like music in general when it comes to like like a film score. Um,
Mm,
and it's clearly a case of them not being able to afford to license the music from the original series, because there's absolutely no reason why they wouldn't use music from the anime versus this very generic music that they have in the show that I'm sure someone worked hard on, but it's just, I just don't think it fits One Piece, especially when it's a series that's already known for having very, very good and iconic music. Um,
Right.
you know, every now and again you hear "We Are" the instrumental a little bit in the background, but that's not enough for me. Um,
Mm.
it's just like, I hate that when something gets adapted, they have to pay an arm and a leg to also use the music from that thing, like they did with
Right.
Castlevania. It's like,
Yeah.
when this thing has such iconic music, removing that music removes so much of the charm.
Hmm.
And like, I think it sucks that people aren't able, who maybe are only watching the live action version, aren't able to enjoy that score. I would definitely implore people to go back and, even if you don't watch the anime, just to go and listen to some of the music from the anime.
Which probably I will do also.
Yeah, but if you just watch it, you'll hear it anyway. Also, which,
Yeah.
I haven't read the beginning of One Piece. I started reading One Piece during like a couple arcs after the time skip, like the Dressrosa arc, which was at the time when I was reading it the longest arc. But I think,
Mm.
but then the arc after it is now the longest arc. So, yeah, when I was, it's so ridiculous. This is why I fell off One Piece so hard,
Right.
because I told you before, the reason, like, the pacing in the anime currently is super slow, and the pacing in
Mm.
the manga right now is super jam packed of just content on every page that is hard to read and hurts my eyes.
Right.
And I got tired of that. The reason I got tired of that and fell off so hard is because the two arcs of the manga I read were literally the two longest arc in the entire series, which is insane.
Oh, yeah.
I read the entirety of Dressrosa and Whole Cake, and those are the longest arcs in the series. And
A hell of a place to start.
after I read those, I was just like, I'm done with One Piece for a while, and that is the reason why I've been so slow to catch back up, because I got in on kind of like a really tough place to start reading the series.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, the best song in the show easily is a song called "Who's Hungry," aka Fishman Trap, because they were
I love
playing
that
trap
one, I
music.
think.
They were playing trap music every time the Fishmen showed up.
Mm.
And you haven't seen a lot of the Fishmen yet, but I'm pretty sure they show up a little bit.
Yeah.
But when you see them, you'll know. And you know, I have to not say the rest of my notes because it's not a spoiler, but it gives away a little bit of stuff that I don't want to give away just yet. So I'll say that for
Right.
next time.
Yeah.
Well, we'll probably just
Caught
talk
up.
about the rest of it because it's pretty short. It's only 8 episodes.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, the action is also kind of very hit or miss for me.
Mm.
Especially in the first 2 episodes, I didn't like it very much, but it does
Yeah.
get better. It's just that when they're fighting a lot of people, it feels very staged. But when you get some one-on-one fights, it gets really good.
Yeah, because I was gonna say, like I said, I watched it with a couple friends of mine, especially that first fight in the first episode with like the gang of Marines where it was Luffy, Nami, and Zoro all together.
Hmm.
It felt like they were very focused on like two characters at a time. And it always felt like that third would be like just standing around not doing anything. And it felt really weird to me. And I'm glad I'm not that makes me feel better about it because I was like, maybe that's just what One Piece is like, and I don't know anything about it.
Oh, definitely
But
not.
okay, cool. Because I was like, yeah, it felt like it was like, oh, it's Zoro and Luffy fighting. Now it's Zoro and Nami. Now it's Luffy and Nami. And it just felt very like, I don't know. It felt weird to me.
Yeah, I hope the action gets better.
Yeah.
I mean, it does get better just in this season alone, but I hope it gets even better as the series goes along.
Also, Clown Guy was great. I love him.
Oh yeah, Buggy. I forgot Buggy showed up in the third episode.
Mhm, mhm.
Buggy the clown.
I liked his whole bit.
Oh,
I love that for him.
yeah, I can't wait for you to learn more about just his story. He's a very
Mm.
fun character that persists throughout the entirety of the series so far.
Oh, nice.
He has a great arc too. So yeah, I can't wait to see more of Buggy. They chose a good actor to play him. Um, yeah, he definitely, when he showed up at the very end of the first episode,
Yeah.
he was giving like the 2019 Joker energy. He was giving
Yeah, I was like,
he was giving Joaquin Phoenix Joker energy real hard.
oh no, it's the El Joker, is we call him
Joker.
in the
Well,
it's a long
do you call the
huh?
Joaquin Phoenix version of him Joker specifically?
Yes,
Yeah,
it's a
because I was saying,
long story.
cause it probably isn't for the reason I think it is, because his name starts with a J but it's pronounced Joaquin. But
No, it's It's related to an image. If I can find the image, I'll send it to you. It's very silly. It's an inside joke between me and my friends. We were like, yeah, it's El Joker, and then he turned out to be really cool. And I was like, whoa, cool clown villain. You don't see that much.
I mean, it's the Joker. Joker's cool. He's just overused.
Joker's cool, but it's like, he's
Yeah, he's just overused. He's
Bro.
not a
Yeah.
bad villain. He just gets used too much.
Yeah. I was tired of him. I'm tired of seeing him.
But yeah, is that all you got?
Yep, that's all I've got. I really enjoyed it. Can't wait to watch the rest. And if 14-year-old me knew that I was enjoying One Piece, we'd probably be fist fighting in a parking lot right now. But it's okay. It's
Oh
all
yeah,
right.
and One Piece is a shonen that where the characters they're young adults, like they're all around 18 years old. Like Luffy's 18, I think Nami's 18, Zoro's like 19, and Sanji's like 19, and I think Usopp's
Really?
also 18. So they're all like, but eventually it's going to be a time skip, so they're going to be in their 20s eventually, and like, yeah, and then some other characters get introduced later that are like in their 30s. So like, there's a really wide age range of characters in this show,
Yeah.
as opposed to most other manga where they're usually teenagers.
Yeah. Which felt kind of refreshing. You could tell that they were like adults, or at least young adults.
Yeah.